Hello and welcome to another episode of Ben's Day with Batgirl Ben. Hi Ben.
Hello.
A lot of stuff last week, huh?
Yes, it was a very busy week.
Yeah, you missed Frankfurt,
I
or
did, Cologne. I wish I was there.
well, I thought you were going to stay in Frankfurt afterwards too.
We were in, I think Jared and Tom Hennessy are there right now.
Yeah.
And I do very much wish I could go, but them's the breaks.
What was your end of the week like? What you were doing?
Pretty crazy. Somebody had to run things here, so it was a lot of last minute editing and publishing and fixing typos in brochures and usual sale launch craziness. And of course, we were hoping at the time to get 2.5 out the same day. So we had all the stuff that you actually saw, and then the 2.5 release post, and then a post about the Reliant core, and one about the Argo. So it was all different directions. But it means a little bit less work later this week, hopefully, whenever we get 2 out.
Well, whenever you get 2.5 out, so still no go call or?
It was a no-go this morning. We're looking at 2 blockers right now. Biggest one seems to be like characters shaking, which we can't have. But I think Mark Abent's actually working that one. So.
Oh, that's good. So
good.
Hopefully that could be done soon.
Hope so. It sounded like there was a couple-day fix, but we'll know more tomorrow.
Yeah, quite a nice patch. Oh, Batcat's on the scene.
Cat attack.
That's normally the, oh my god, our stream is going to crash, but we'll hang on to that. So 2.5, 2 new ships, Argo Cargo, Argo MPUV, and, well, they're both MPUVs, right?
They're both
Cargo,
MPUV.
and
It's
then,
not even actually called an Argo. It's the Argo Astronautics MPUV, the cargo version, and the personnel version.
all right, and then we have the Reliant core.
Reliant core will be flight ready also.
Now, I want to ask you a question about the Reliant core, or give you like my summation and have you react to it. It's not really the ship that somebody that wants to go into low-sec space should take. It's someone that's looking for a more safe beginning to a cargo career.
I think so. I mean, it's we say what existing systems will this tie into? What's in development? So we haven't been doing any kind of crazy. I would say the last, hey, let's build a game mechanic around this ship we did was the science ship, the Endeavor, late last year. As for the scope of sort of an individual ship, I mean, just look at the Terrafin. It kind of began life as this plate. It was one of the options for the starter poll a while back. And we said, okay, this is a cool ship idea. We're going to change the manufacturer. We're going to expand the role so it's not really a starter ship anymore. It's the first explorer ship as you lock into that career. So we aren't beholden to the initial specs for a ship internally. If we see a cool idea, we go for it, as long as it doesn't mean we do another year of development in some other area of the game.
Okay. That was a great thing, bringing the Terrapin in like you did. Because some people have questions about that ship directly. Because it has, I guess you could say it has 3 distinct missions, right? Scanning, search and rescue, and what was the third one?
What's been a fighter? It's got some.
Command and control, too. Kind of like an E2C Hawkeye, right?
Yes.
So are these going to be options that you change different modules on it, or will they actually be modular frames that you could change out like the Vanguard?
It'll be more like you change a particular part of the ship. You probably see it's got that S-Wax style dome on top, and we could see changing that out for like a different kind of scanning array or a heavier weapon or something. So more of an individual components rather than dropping out the whole ship like we do with like the Argo or the Vanguard.
Okay, that sounds good, because the minute I saw that, I thought E2C Hawkeye. Of course,
it has that cool dome. I don't know if it makes sense in space, but it's cool.
It probably doesn't make sense in space, being that most of the newer technology uses a planar phased array, which are like big giant panels facing in different directions. But this is Chris's vision, so it doesn't really matter what real life is, right?
It looks cool. I'll give it that.
Yeah, I remember when I was growing up on Long Island, and they had the domes, the radar domes for the ETC going down the highway. People would think it was like a UFO they caught. It was kind of
There's such an odd thing. There's something unworldly when you see one land for the first time. Like driving by bases.
Yeah, they're kind of cool though, because it's kind of a crossover. When you look at the Argo is kind of a version of the E2C's C2 Greyhound, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which the fleet uses for resupply and for bringing pilots out there, for bringing mail out to the ships. So I get the idea that the Argo is kind of that ship to ship, ship to shore type of unit too. Are you going to...
Yeah.
So you have modularity in those in the component, not the component, but in the, I guess, the blocks that you carry. What do you call them? The component that you carry? One's cargo?
Pods, maybe.
Pods? Can you use that? That is trademarked these days.
It's true. So the
boxes.
the Argo, we have, yes, cubes. It's, I don't know. We have the idea certainly going in it's going to work the same as the retaliator components or the Vanguard modules. But since that aspect of Items 2.0 has not kicked off yet, we're just doing individual ships for now. Eventually, you'll be able to swap between the... there's going to be 3 types of Argos down the line. There's also an Sonara variant that's coming.
Okay. Now, the Argo goes on sale the day that 2.5 goes out?
Yeah, the 2.5 goes out, yeah. We're all...
$35?
It's $35 for the cargo version and $40 for the personnel.
I mean, that sounds kind of cool to me. I still wish it had a quantum drive, and I understand it not having a jump drive, but that's good.
Yeah, you bounce it out.
I mean, to me, it would be a perfect shuttle or a taxi cab going from Crusader to ArcCorp, you know? Throw 8 people in the back, take them where you need to go, or be able to get them to Corellia and take it over.
I see taxi rolls. I see a lot of, sort of, I think I call it Steve Door roll in the Post. These massive MPC, haul ships will come in and they will pay dock workers to take their Argos and unload for them. So I see it as like very, very small careers for people who want to get started. Maybe someday you'll start Citizen as an Argo pilot and have to earn enough money for a ship for the quantum drive or something.
Okay. So now that we know that the Herald is definitely coming in 2.6, knock wood, right? Because anything can happen. The word definitely doesn't mean definitely, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So different roles for the Herald. Is it just the information runner, or do you foresee different, other roles that the Herald might be able to take on?
It's very focused. A lot of there's some scanning stuff. There's decryption, although you see how slow this computer is from our social media. That is my favorite thing, by the way. I know it's such a stupid, hey, everybody share, like, whatever, which I can't stand. But the fact that we came up with the help the Herald, it's in the universe, but it also is so corny and doesn't quite make sense. It hits all the buttons for me.
It was pretty awesome. I thought it was pretty awesome. I got in a little bit late because I was sick and I was working my butt off, and last week was the first week of school. A lot went on, but that was awesome.
Week.
Yeah, that was awesome. Hey, Terrapin, I had to pull some magic to get that. Like we talk about, there's always melts that go on, and then maybe little CCU business, and then some new business. I was like, all right, I've got to melt my Carrack. I've got to melt my Gladiator. I can get it back. I've got to use this coupon and get the $4.95 package. Oh my Lord! Now I have 3 Dragonflies. It's like,
it is very, very interesting watching that happen from this. We can do it on a meta level, and when a new ship comes out, we see exactly how people melt and what they're moving towards, and that's actually valuable feedback. But yeah, a lot of that happened over the last couple days.
Now there has to be some reliance on it generating some kind of cash revenue for you, but I don't see the number dropping. I still see the number going up.
Oh, it's still going up, and we're we've been getting such good press, all sorts of new players, lots of people coming back and saying, "Hey, I was wrong." It's been really
I think everyone
feeling good here.
I think everyone that was doubting Chris and CIG and all of you is starting to choke on some of those words that they were saying. Starting to, because
to be honest, we all, for the past couple months, we've all been seeing the demo in our limited slices.
Yeah.
And we weren't sure what to think going into the show because we were like, okay, this works, this works, this works. But the people who are going to see it working together are Chris in the press booth and then the show itself. So it really crystallized Star Citizen a lot more than I was expecting it to. Wow, it's all there. That cat's awesome.
Yeah, but it's like taking over the seat. She's like meow and pushing on me. I really need to make sure people understand why the demo is so important, in that when you look at CryEngine and you look at the games that use it and how many loading screens are in CryEngine, right? I play a game called Armored Warfare. That's CryEngine. Very small spaces, not great frame rate all the time. And, they use it because of what you can do with CryEngine. And here you are remodeling that engine to, for 64-bit floating point, whatever the calculations for.
To me.
Yeah, all this stuff. But the thing that gets me the most is that even flying just in the Crusader system, being able to fly from Port Olisar, go out to ICC Probe, go to Yela, fly around, go land, get into Grimex, and never see a loading screen. I think that's the most important takeaway here, because this is something that we've been waiting for forever. I'm walking around my ship, I'm getting in my ship, I could fight on my ship if I get boarded, I could go fly here, I could fly there, blow these things up, and go land somewhere else and never have a loading screen. I think that's wonderful. So I think that's a big deal. So we touched on 3.0, and one of the biggest questions right now is going to be, and I think it's going to be a maybe, are we going to be able to drive the Mako in 3.0?
That is the intent right now. I mean, we saw it in the demo, and I don't know why that would change, but let's say tentative yes, and if I'm wrong, you can blame me instead of Chris.
All right, so if that's the case, at some point before we could play it, we should see it in our hangar soon.
Sorry, I mean the legally distinct from the Mako. It's the Ursa Rover.
It's the Urso. I'm
in
sorry.
Fact, I've never
it's
heard
not
of
the Mako.
Oh
God, I'm sorry. I called it the Mako. You know why I called it the Mako?
Because you love sharks and you just call stuff after them.
Isn't that what they called the thing in Mass Effect? Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay.
No, it does look like
We're going back in time to erase that.
It does look like the Mass Effect space car.
No, it doesn't. That's not why.
But it drives very differently.
There's the Ursa and there's a Lynx. I have a Lynx because I have a Phoenix, right?
Yes, that's right.
And that's just a slightly upscale. Maybe it's got a hot tub in it. Who knows?
It does have a hot tub in it. Chris has been very insistent that the hot tub is going to come back when we update the.
No, I mean in the Lynx. No, it's
in the Lynx.
It's in the
Phoenix.
No. It's not in the Lynx. Not in the Lynx.
No hot tub in the Lynx.
No, we're not trying to get him to say things that he doesn't mean. So
I will admit that we sat down to talk about variants for the Rover maybe 2 or 3 months ago now, and there were just a million of them everybody wanted to do. So I would expect to see more Rovers after the Ursa and the Lynx.
Hover tanks?
I don't know if that would be a variant, but we should have hover tanks.
We should have hover tanks. That would be awesome.
Everybody needs hover tanks.
Yeah. So 3.0 brings up a lot of other questions. Okay. And of course,
none of which I'm qualified to answer.
You might be, because some of it has to do with community.
I will give it my best.
Okay. So 3.0 is definitely going to drive many people back into the game, because you're going to have a lot more to do in the game, and there's going to be a lot more people playing the game at once.
I'm most interested to see how the increase in area affects the game. When we have this giant, Portals, our current maps are really, really, really big, and people manage to play together. So what happens when they are 10 times as big? It should be interesting behavior to watch.
I'm very interested to see that. My guess is this. I'm the head of the Enablers, our organization. And of course, we know that trying to get any kind of an answer from you guys on organizational tools is going to be like trying to pry knowledge out of the NSA. But we're going to start needing this with what you're giving us. So what type of things are you looking for going forward into 2017 to help those of us that do have large guilds to help run the guild and know where people are and what they're doing and what they have in the game?
I'm going to say stay tuned for CitizenCon to that. We're going to make Turbulent say some things.
You're going to make them say some things.
We're going to make some things.
Are they going to hold to them? That's the question. Because I don't want to hold up the statement that Org Tools 2.0 is coming from 2 years ago.
We'll have a look at what's coming.
All right, good. And that obviously they've had time to let the system flesh out because, folks, honestly, the system had to flush its way out. They couldn't just build it and then rebuild it again. They had to wait for things to be settled, correct?
We learned so much from how people interact. I guess that sounds creepy, like we're watching you, but just on very broad levels, we see what people actually need, what they actually want.
Okay.
So it works a lot better than us sitting down in 2013 and coming up with a list of here's exactly how org should work.
Okay. What type of things would be on your wish list for the way that a device like an iPad or Android tablet could interact with the game, both live and offline? Your wish list.
And this is entirely personally not how we're actually doing it. What I would want would be to have essentially your version of the Quine 4000, or Moby, I guess you call it now, but on your phone. So, you cargo manifest, you take missions, you interact with people in other star systems, send email. I would want the app to be completely in-world. You're not using your iPad, you're using your futuristic device, and it never takes you out of it. That would be my big thing.
That would be awesome. I know that you have hired people to do that, so I know that we can't talk about what is going on behind the scenes, but getting a wish list gives people an idea of what things you might be looking forward to when the game finally does go live. Because that's far out, folks. We're not talking about next week.
It's getting closer every day. It's really feeling like now it's interesting.
Well, it is. I mean, the more you guys show, the better it is. So, do you foresee ships... With 3.0 coming out, do you foresee ships like maybe the Genesis becoming something that makes its way onto the production floor?
So the Genesis, I think... No, that's what I was thinking Endeavor. No, Genesis shouldn't be impossibly far off. I think we need to hit some of the really popular ships, the Banu Merchantman and the Carrack and so on, before we get to that really role specific stuff. But that's coming.
I really do have to say thank you over and over again for that one package with the Carrack and the Terrapin. Folks, I don't know when the Terrapin goes off sale. My guess is it goes off sale a week from today.
Yeah, it's the 29th.
So one thing I'll tell you is that the package is $4.95. Carrack was $4.50. How much was the Dragonfly? Wasn't it like $45? 35?
35 or 45, somewhere around there.
Yeah, well, you get the black one, not the yellow one, so it was the cheaper one. Well, no, they were both the same
price.
They're
the same price, but the yellow's limited.
Yeah, you get the Terrapin, the Carrack, and that all for $4.95, and it is a savings if you already have one of those. One of the best packages in the game. I was very happy with that, and I want to thank you for giving something that actually made sense. That was awesome.
Well, we bumped up the discount we do for the package this time around. We wanted to see how people reacted to that. It's been good. It seems like people are getting the chips they want, and they're using the melt system to get there. So we're super happy with how that's gone.
Yeah, I wound up melting my Gladiator because I don't know where that ship is going, and I know its rework is further off than things like the 300 and the Hornet, which is coming up soon, right, for the one that we have. So I'm keeping that one on the back burner, keeping the money there just in case, but knowing that I was able to get the Terrapin because it is a ship I know I'll have fun with. Speaking of ships, we brought up the Carrack a couple of times tonight. How modular is that design? Is it another design that we're going to rely on adding components to it, or is it going to be whole modules that are going to be moved?
It's more components than modules.
Okay.
But I should hold my tongue on that because UK is taking their pass at it, if not right now, then in the next couple of weeks. So we'll know more then. But yeah, it was intended to be one where it's more individual components than big set of the modules.
So there may be more artwork added to the vault in the future. Not near future, but future.
Yes, there's always hope. Well, we have some Terrapin artwork this week. I think some procedural planet shots. So there's 2 vaults this week.
Okay, procedural planet shots are good. So Dragonfly, also mentioning that a lot. We see it flying and flying well.
Doesn't it look just like the concept art? They are on point over there.
It was pretty awesome. I mean, when that thing came out of the Freelancer, I was just... that was a wow, and I'm very happy about that. When's it going to be flying?
3.0 probably.
3.0? There's a lot of work that's waiting on 3.0. A lot of things.
There's a lot of stuff that's in that we would like to show you now, but doesn't make sense.
And like 2.6, I assume there's going to be some ships that are not flyable yet that will be introduced.
We're moving away from doing the directly to hangar thing. We're at the point where when a ship is hangar ready, it's close enough to flight ready that it doesn't make sense to hop anymore. So I think you'll probably see less hangar-ready ships going forward. And 2.6 in particular is going to be not as much about ships, not as much about Portal, not the Crusader, but Star Marine and Arena Commander Pass. We've got some stuff we want to do to Crusader. They've got the racing stuff for Grim Hex, and you'll be able to use the hoplite in Crusader, but it'll focus largely on Star Marine systems there.
Okay. I've been seeing some... Oh, God, I don't even know who asked this question. We've been seeing some talk about the Hurricane.
I've heard that talk.
Yeah. Is the Hurricane something that we might see in-game that we can purchase?
Yes. I saw there was a leak about this already, so I'm not telling tales out of school.
Okay.
Upcoming ships and things. Hurricane is one we're looking at. It's not going to be literally the same description. It's a similar evolution as the Terrapin.
So not the same evolution that we saw in the Anvil Aerospace company profile.
It's a little bit different from how we initially described it. Same character, but not a starter anymore. We've been allowed to run a little bit more wild with it.
Oh, that's pretty awesome. Pretty awesome. I'm getting excited about CitizenCon because you just showed off Star Citizen, and that's going to be Squadron 42. Do you expect to have any of the actors there, or?
I can't say that.
Okay, I was trying to get... Folks, I tried to get him to stumble into one. I did one, the Hurricane. That's all we're going to get today.
There you go. You got the Hurricane.
Yeah, we got the Hurricane. Now the cat's upset, so she's scratching apart my dresser.
I honestly do not know if we'll have actors for CitizenCon.
I'll corner Sandy for that one, folks.
It's always, actors, they move in contractual circles.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It would cost a lot of money. We don't want to spend that money. Nope.
Well, a lot of these people are, Chris's friends. We'll see. But it's scheduling beyond me.
Okay.
Plus, why do you want to see actors when you got me? And
oh, believe me, people will say the same thing. They
Chris.
will say that. Everybody loves you guys. You know that. I'm trying to remember the last couple of questions that people fed to my head when I was playing with the enablers last night. And I think the big one was hover tanks and tank battles because we were playing Armored Warfare, and that's what they wanted to do. Genesis, I know it's too early to ask some of those questions. A lot of it had to do with loadout and being able to turn it into something other than... Like, people want to know, can I make it... How do I turn it into a cargo? Can it carry this? Can it carry that? And that's still to be determined, right?
Genesis is Project Forbidden! We will serve no ship before it's time, but we'll talk about it in the near future.
Yeah, well, that's good. So, wow, we have a lot coming up over the next 3 months. I mean, we have Dragon Con, you guys aren't going to be there, but you have a place to stay if you come. So, you're not going to be there, so we have CitizenCon, we're going to have the anniversary sale, we're going to have are you going to do something for Veterans Day again this year?
We'll see. I'm actually talking to some folks about maybe not doing a military charity, but maybe something with like fire and rescue. A little bit. We'll see.
All right, and I assume that 3.0 also is the official release of the female model?
Can't comment on that.
Ah, people always ask that. And of course, the one question to end it, because they always want to know this. For the community of users that demand, if I can remember, that demand information on the Polaris, CitizenCon?
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, they want to know about Polaris. It's out of my price range for me. I've been trying to put pennies and quarters in my desk drawer so you could steal them all here, guys. Because I've been waiting for word on the 890 jump at some point, but I know that one's far off, so.
You'll hear about the Polaris very soon.
All right, cool. Ben, thank you. All right, folks, remember, we need your questions, and you have been putting them in all different places, but the right place to put them for now on definitely is starcitizenaa@gmail.com with Ben's Day in the subject field. It's getting too much to go back through a lot of different videos to pull them out. Well, it's not getting too much. I'm back in school, and it just takes some extra time, and I like to have everything ready for Ben. When I can go to one email, it makes a lot more sense. So, starcitizenaa@gmail.com, Ben's Day in the subject field. Remember to go to my Patreon. And Ben, what else do you have?
Be sure to like and subscribe to this video.
Really? Can we have a second take of that?
Okay. Hey, everybody, be sure to like and subscribe to this video. Right, bing, 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 bing.
There we go. Ben, you're probably busy. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for your time.
Good thing.
And with that said, folks, you all be safe out there, and I'll talk to you soon.